Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. How are we all? I hope everyone's had a brilliant week. Let's just see how many people are actually in the chat tonight. 16 of you at the moment. Can everybody hear everything? Everybody okay? Everyone see everything? I'm hoping we won't have the lag problems that we had last week. This week we've adjusted some settings and stuff, and hopefully the internet is better this week. So I think the reason why a lot of you are probably here is because of the post I put out earlier, and that is that we're going to do the unboxing tonight for the Thunderbike, custom Thunderbike parts for the VS1400. We'll do that in just a moment. I just want to see how many of you actually do tune in. We've got a couple of minutes. I'm a little bit early, but I'm going to do a couple minutes here until we get really into things. Thank you, Rob. Good to have you here, bud. Yeah, I remember I told you about that microphone that I found that I'd had for years, that had just sat on the shelf and I'd never used it. That's what you're hearing. It's a beautiful microphone. So all of the videos now are going to be done on this microphone as well as the live videos. I'm actually just going to get a box and put the laptop up because I keep looking down at the screen to look at your comments and it's too distant from the camera. Give me one sec. Chuck this up here, and then hopefully it won't look too terrible when I look down at the computer screen. So let's see, that's a bit better. Now I'm up here as opposed to down there. So let's see how many comments we've got coming in tonight. Loads of you in again, fantastic stuff. Rob saying that the sound Rob says the sound is good, which is awesome. Motorloon, how you doing, my man? Loud and clear, awesome. Hopefully we don't have any lockouts like we did last week. So I've changed, like I say, I've changed a few settings. Still getting used to this OBS software stuff. Fingers crossed we don't have any lockouts. We need to make sure we've got. It's actually getting quite cold down here. I'll put my hat on. Mrs. Hagar is moderating again this evening, ladies and gents. So if I do miss a question or anything like that, it's her job to try and find them and put them into the live chat again for you, so that I can find them easily without having to scroll through the without scrolling through the chat. So okay, fantastic. We've got quite a few of you in. Has everyone had a good week? Is everyone feeling positive for the week ahead? I hate Monday mornings, but got to be done. Mrs. Hagar, yeah, Mrs. Hagar is here. The iconic jacket. I'll tell you what, Mrs. Hagar, could you please run down the jacket? It's upstairs. It is actually quite cold in here tonight. The heating's not reaching this room, so we can put the jacket on. Mrs. Hagar will grab it for me, I'm sure. And Mrs. Hagar's getting a lot of love this week, which is good. She's doing a good job, which is fantastic. Definitely takes a lot off of me trying to manage the chat as well as talking and entertaining and unboxing or showing you parts and stuff. So really helpful. Motorloon says, doing good. A bit annoyed at your Brits though over this Brexit thing, as my stuff is hanging in customs waiting for processing. I didn't vote for Brexit, my friend, just so you know. You'll find, I think, the majority of the people that voted to leave were of the older generation. Us young'uns, we kind of wanted to stay in the EU, but never mind, what's done is done. Maybe in 30, 40 years we'll have a chance to change it. We'll see. Axel, great to have you here, man. Nice to see you too. Good, I'm glad to hear it, Dave. Really glad to hear it. Motorloon, needed a few more fittings for my brake clutch project. Oh, yeah, Rob. Here it comes. Oh, it does feel better when I've got this on. I definitely feel more Hagar. Okay, yes. Sorry, I was just reading the comment there. Good, I'm glad everyone is feeling great. Shall we get on with the unboxing? If you want us to get on with the unboxing right now, feel free to leave a thumbs up or something in the comment section, or if you've got questions, you can drop them first, and we'll do the unboxing in a minute. It's just here, the package. It's quite a big package. Some of you know what's inside. Some of you don't. If you don't know what's inside, feel free to have a guess. Now we're watching Hagar Moto. Yeah, the jacket definitely does have to be worn. I mean, look at the state of it. But this is, I've had this jacket probably for the better part of, how old am I now? It must be 16 years, this jacket. Mrs. Hagar promises that she's going to try and sew it up a little bit so I can maintain it a little bit longer, put some patches of some sort on there. Because it's getting to the point where it's dangerous. If I'm using a drill or an impact driver or something, it gets caught. And then like my arm gets tugged into whatever it is that I'm working on. So we got to figure that out. But right. Willow says it's 38 degrees where you are. Assuming Fahrenheit. I think it's about 2 degrees Celsius here right now outside. Not been the warmest of weeks. And our heating died last week. That was fun. We went below 0 Celsius about 4 days ago with no heating. It's not been fun. It's been really, really cold. That's patina. Supposed to be like it. Yeah, I know, man. But like I say, it's just dangerous. It really is. But, you know, like I said, I'm not planning on changing it anytime soon. But like maybe just a couple of patches or something, some fabric just to keep things together. Because it's like moths have been at it. But anyway, I've definitely got my money's worth out of this thing. Okay, so I don't think we've had any major questions. So let's go on with the unboxing. I haven't seen these parts yet. Okay, and they got stuck in customs when France. I think I mentioned this last week. France closed the border between obviously France and England about 2 weeks ago because of COVID and because of Brexit. And this shipment, if you don't know who Thunderbike are, Thunderbike specialise in Harley-Davidson customs. They're renowned. They win hundreds of competitions every year with custom-built Harley-Davidsons. But they also, because they're in Germany, obviously, they also work on VS1400. So they do have a few parts, custom parts, for the VS1400. Hopefully, this is not damaged. It was in transit for a very long time because of the problems between France and the English border. I'm really hoping that this hasn't been squished or thrown about too much. So I honestly haven't seen it yet. So fingers crossed. Let's just bring it round for you guys. Let's see. Put your comments below. If you're not sure what it is, have a guess. See what you think it might be. Pretty big box. Oh, right. You guys see all right? Lighting's all right. Okay. Pretty well packed, which is good. It's always positive. Very well packed indeed. So we've got one here. Oh, smaller boxes. Wait, hang on. One there. We've got a bigger one at the bottom. I really want. Oh, come on. One. Any more for any more? No, that's it. Okay, so we've got 2 individual boxes. Which one should we go for? I reckon the smaller one first. Yeah, let's go for the smaller one. This one. Right, let's see. They most certainly are pricey, Motorloon. I'm not sponsored, but I personally didn't pay. Well, I guess I kind of did. These were gifts for my birthday. Mrs. Hagar rallied the troops, and everyone sort of chipped in 10 quid, 15 quid, and it amounted to enough money to get. Right, come on, leave your comments. What do you think is in this box? Oh, that's beautiful. I'm looking forward to that. Anybody? turn it around. Now this one, I believe they have to custom make it to order. They don't have them on the shelf, and that's why the order took so long to start with. Is that these get made when an order comes in. Oh, let's just admire that for just a moment, shall we? Oh. That's custom, and let's custom shaped everything. It's a sofa. It's actually quite slim if you compare it to what I've been running. Hang on. So this was my existing seat. Look at the size of that thing. Now this thing, it came with the bike, and it's done all right, but it's the foam in it is so old, it's like sitting on bricks, and all it does is add like 5 inches to your riding position, like up in the air. It's like a booster seat. I mean, I'm not a tall guy, but that's just ridiculous. Whereas that is lovely and slim. Oh, I mean, the stitching is beautiful. Perfect spot for the CDI igniter box right there. Well happy with that. Right, let's move on. Oh, hang on. You get all the fixings with it. Fixing plates, rivets, connecting arm, etc. Yeah, awesome. Right, so let's see. Has anyone guessed what the bigger package is yet? The butt end of your bike. Close. Ooh, nice. More patina. Comfort is overrated. Looks are everything. Awesome. Right, let's have a look then at this big one. You guys aren't really going to be able to see much, I'm afraid. Please don't be broken. Custom made. Yeah, that's special. Does that give it away? Does that give it away? Okay, here it is. Oh wow, it's even got tubing for wiring. Now this I have to get this painted. It only comes primered, ready for paint. In fact, I don't even know if it's primered. No, I don't think it is. There it is. That's the Evo Fender Kit for the VS1400. Made out of fiberglass, this one. It's not metal. But allegedly, it can still take a pillion. So I might have to look at getting a pillion pad in the spring for Mrs. Hagar, because I haven't got a pillion pad that will fit this now. But yeah, that's it, guys. That's going to look awesome. So if you don't know how this fits, you remove the existing fender and the existing side struts, and this actually sits over the frame as opposed to between the frame, which is what those cutouts there are. Big enough to sit over the frame, and then those arms that you've just seen replace the existing circular, you know, cylindrical struts. These replace them, so it's a lot slimmer. It's a lot more refined. Very, very happy with all of this. This is going to be one hell of a video installing all of this stuff. I've got to get it all booked in to be sprayed now, because I've got to get that sprayed, the rear fender I've got to get sprayed, I've got to get the front fender sprayed, the tank sprayed, and the side tin sprayed. So yeah, that's pretty much it. But this seat as well, guys, I mean, it's stunning. They're not cheap by any means. Thunderbike are most certainly not cheap. In fact, they're probably, in regards to custom VS1400 parts, they are probably the most expensive. But you are paying for quality, complete quality. Let's just move this out of the way. And let's see what you guys have been saying. Oh, I'm buzzing. I can't wait to fit this stuff. Let's see. Let's bring down your comment section here. Yeah, new seat, new fender. No, it won't look acceptable with a 170 rear. It does support up to a 210. I won't be putting a 210 on though, I'll be putting a 200 on eventually. This probably won't be fitted for at least another month because the guy who I'm going to have it spray it is not working at the moment because we are in lockdown, so there's nothing I can do about that. But it's nice to know that the kit is here, ready for us. Motorloon says, you want to remount the CDI on the seat, move mine to the space under the seat instead so I don't have to disconnect it to remove the seat. Yeah, that's definitely an option. I've got the space now that I've put the pod filters on. There's loads of space under the seat now. So we shall see. Thank you, Dave. Damn nice. I'm on Thunderbike but still listening. Yeah, Dave, I think the seat and the Evo kit that I've just got, I think it all came to around 700 British pounds, something like that. Or that might have been euros. It might have been 700 euros, which it was somewhere around that number for both, including shipping. So yeah, what do you think, guys? Excited? Because I am. I can't wait to get this whole kit put together. Motorloon says, right, I hear you may be able to fit like a 270 B15 without needing a custom swing arm. Yes. I'm still not 100% sure whether or not I want to use the existing rim or whether I would want to maybe go up a size in rim to support a 200, because as far as I'm aware, adding a 200 onto this existing rim, it actually makes it more like a 185 to a 190 as opposed to a 200. It is a wide fender. It's not going to look fantastic with a 170 on there, so I'm in no major rush to fit this. The rear of the bike needs to look right. I mean, it is a very wide fender. In fact, let's measure it while we're here so you guys know. Thunderbike, by the way, folks, have no idea that I'm making this video. They haven't endorsed it by any means. So the slimmest point, which is the tail wall to wall, is just, where are we at here? It's about 8.5 inches. And the widest point, which is nearer the seat, is 9.5. So it definitely tapers out towards the frame. But I don't think it would be too terrible to have a 170. I don't think it would be ridiculous. I mean, you've got maybe half an inch to an inch either side. We'll see. Maybe we'll dry fit it and see how it looks in a video. If it looks ridiculous, then yeah, of course we'll look at putting in a different wheel on the back, or at least a different tire to make up for that lost space. I'd love to be able to afford a wider swing arm, but that's not going to happen. Not this year. I plan on buying a house this year, so the bike stuff, custom stuff, has to slow down ever so slightly. Because as much as I'd love to go and drop £2,000 on a custom swing arm for this bike, no, it's just ridiculous. So yeah, let's see what you guys are saying. How's it going, Marius? He says, hello, do you know when you upload more info about carburetor? I uploaded a video last weekend about the carbs. I don't know if you've seen that one, but feel free to go check that out. The carbs are still on the bench. I am waiting on some ultrasonic cleaning fluid because I bought myself an ultrasonic cleaner, which is now on the bench. And as soon as that stuff arrives, we will be doing the teardown video for the carbs, stripping them down, cleaning them, installing and tuning. Probably do that over maybe a 3-parter video, but all within sort of one sequence, one playlist. But it is on the way. I've got to get it done because I want to ride my bike as soon as lockdown lifts and as soon as the temperature starts to go up a little bit outside. I want to be able to ride. So those videos are going to be coming out as a priority over the next week to 2 weeks. The only reason you haven't seen one this week is because I've been working on that motorcycle, which is my friend's motorbike. He brought it in earlier in the week. Regulator rectifier stator problem. So we've changed out the rectifier on it, and the stator is also being changed. I'm just waiting on liquid gasket to turn up, which should be here tomorrow. Once that bike is off the bench, which should be by the end of tomorrow, I can put my bike back on the bench, and we can get everything done. We can start moving forward with the carbs and etc. etc. And you know, I've got to do the brakes again. The caliper on the front is definitely sticking, so I need to look into that. Right, let's see what else you guys have been asking. Andrea says, I paid €800 for my whole Intruder. Yeah, I paid, what did I pay? I think I paid $1,150, I think I paid for mine. It is silly money. When you start with any bike, whenever you start looking into custom made CNC'd parts, of course they're going to be ridiculously expensive. You know, but why not? You know, if it's something that you want to do it by all means. Just don't go into debt over it. Don't leave yourself in trouble because you want to put a new fender on the rear of your bike. Like I said, I'm surrounded by amazing friends and family, and Mrs. Hagar went out and asked if people would like to contribute to a particular birthday gift. Like I said, just lots of different people chipped in 10 quid, 15 quid, etc. And it amounted to a sum of money that allowed me to buy these parts. We didn't buy these parts on a credit card or anything like that. Always take care of your finances, your family, yourself before you go spunking it on a motorcycle. It's just not the way to do things. It's not the way to do life, contrary to popular belief. So yeah, just bear that in mind. Dave Deb says, very excited to see everything fitted. Gonna look really nice. Pricey, but I think worth it. Absolutely, definitely gonna take my time with this one. Motorloon says, that's not bad. I think you may be okay with a 170. Possibly, yeah. I've just got this feeling though that I'm gonna want to put a bigger wheel on the back anyway at some point. So we'll see. But once it's all painted, we'll take a proper look at it, and I can let you guys know whether or not it looks ridiculous. The one thing I think that might look a bit strange with this fender, because the tyre is actually not centered to the swing arm, it's actually off to the side a little bit. I'm wondering how this, now that the fender is wider, whether the rear wheel will actually look more off center because of the difference in size. That would be something to take into consideration if we are going to fit this with the 170 tyre on the back. So again, lots of things to look at with this fender and the kit. I am really excited about the seat. I think this is going to be, oh, it's so nice. I think this is going to be really nice to ride. It's been made beautifully. The stitching is awesome. And like I just said, no, I'm not endorsed by Thunderbike. That would be the day, wouldn't it? That would be the day when you know you've made it, when Thunderbike call you up and go, hey, we want to send you thousands of pounds worth of custom parts for nothing, as long as you name drop us in your videos. That would be pretty epic. But no, I paid for them, or at least my friends and family paid for them. Yes, 170 is the standard size, most definitely. Motorloon, does some of the older Intruders use smaller tyres like 150, or is that only some of smaller displacement versions? I honestly don't know. I don't know. Jamie Gridden says, you're right, I just paid a bit too much for a custom license plate frame, but screw it, I like it. Exactly. Absolutely. Family first, then the bike though. Yeah, it is a nice seat. It really is. Franz, do you think the Stage 3 jet kit is also necessary if the K&N filters mats are installed with less restrictive exhaust? Hope I didn't miss that in the previous video. Greetings from Saxony. Well, look, the whole purpose of the Stage 3 jet kit is to increase the flow of fuel into the mixture, to increase the fuel to compensate for the increase in air that you're putting into the carbs. Otherwise, you'll never truly get a pristine sort of air mix ratio within the carbs. And that's also why we had to drill out that slider, was to allow for the additional fuel and airflow to make the throttle more responsive. There's lots of little reasons for it. Do I think overall that it's necessary? I think in a previous video you guys heard me say, no, it's definitely not necessary. You are not going to go 160 miles an hour just because you put a Stage 3 jet kit into it. But what it will do is it will give you more power off the line. It will ever so slightly adjust the sound of your exhaust because you're throwing more air into the engine. Therefore, you'll have more air coming out of the exhaust, and you will likely find that there is a slightly different sound or tone to your exhaust system. And it will burn a lot more fuel than what it normally would. But no, you don't have to change the stage 3s. You don't have to change to a stage 3. But I wanted to run pop filters and run them as efficiently as possible. And I wanted to be able to get off the line as quickly as I could. You aren't going to put much on the top end of these by putting in a stage 3 kit. It's more of a, I'd say it's more of a passion project at this stage with the jet kits for these bikes. The gearing is what restricts them. If you can't get, if you haven't got, what's the right terminology to give you guys here? Basically, the gearing won't allow you to go any faster. I believe what you would need to do, and I think a few of you guys have mentioned this in the past, would be to take the gearing, or the 5th gear at least, out of a VL1500 and replace the stock one in the 1400. Due to the size or the amount of teeth, etc., it would allow you to increase your top end ever so slightly. But again, it's just a lot of work for something that you probably wouldn't even ever touch nearly as much as you think you might when you're doing it. But yeah, stage 3 will have its perks, but it will also have its cons. Motorloon, you're still running the airboxes, Franz. I don't think it will make enough difference. No, you've got to run pod filters with the stage 3. Marius, okay, nice. I have seen them all. Your support about the bike is priceless. Once you upload full setup for carbs, you're going to be the first on YouTube. One more thanks for that. No problem at all. The whole reason why I do this channel is to bring things to the table that don't currently exist on the table. Same with the website. If you guys haven't checked out my website for a little while, I made some design changes, cleaned things up a little bit over there, and I'm starting to update that again now. So if you wanted to read instructions as well as watch the video at the same time, that's what I built the website to do. So you can literally scroll down the page, but the video will play in the bottom corner. You can move the video around on the page so that it's however you want it to be. So you can watch along and read along with talk specs, instructions, etc., tool lists and all that sort of thing. hagarmoto.com, but without the 2 dots above the first A. So it's just Hagar Moto. But go check it out. You can check it out on your phone as well. You don't have to have a computer open to look at it. Two Wheels, how you doing? He says, hi Moto. From Nova Scotia, Canada, have a 06 Suzuki S83 VS1400. Love it. Just got clutch springs from Winter's Machine Shop. Hoping all goes well. They absolutely will. Just take note of the video that I put out regarding that, and the bleeding video as well. Make sure you watch the reverse bleed video on the channel once you've installed the clutch springs. But good job for getting those springs. I'm pretty sure nearly everyone in this chat room right now will know of Ryan Winter's machining and his clutch springs, or will have them installed in his bike. So you definitely made the right choice. Jamie says the sound of mine is real deep sounding. That's good. I love a deep sounding motorcycle. Motorloon says you can take 4th and 5th from the 1500. You'll need both. Thank you for correcting me on that. I knew there was something there about the gearing. You could swap something out to increase the top end a little bit. Fran says, I asked because I maxed out the mixture screw and raised the needles and the bike still runs too lean. Ooh, if it's still running too lean, is that with stage 3 jets in? What number jets have you got in, front and rear? Let me know. Have you got a 170 in the front and a 180 in the rear? Have you got a 160 in the front and a 170 in the rear? Let me know what jets you're running. Motorloon says... gives you like a couple hundred RPMs at same speed. Yeah. Andreas, where I search, I find only parts for 1400. Where can I find parts for Intruder 400? Oh, that's a difficult one because I believe the 400 isn't nearly as in demand as the 1400. What parts are you in need of? If you wanted to find the place that I like to use for stock parts, again, not sponsored or endorsed, I just spend so much money with them, is motorcyclespareparts.eu. Put in your registration number. They're based, I believe, just outside of Germany. Yes, you'll have to pay shipping if you're not in Germany or in the mainland of Europe. But they seem to have access to pretty much every single nut and bolt on any motorcycle or ATV for that matter that you can think of. So I would definitely go and check them out. And that goes for all of you guys. If you're ever looking for stock parts, go and check out motorcyclespareparts.eu. That's where I got my piston rings from. They were the only place that had a decent price on them. Here in the UK, they were trying to charge me £120 a set. And I needed 2 sets. It was just ridiculous. Whereas Motorcycle Spare Parts did the whole lot for €95 or something like that. So yeah, that's where I would go and check that out. Motorloon, Andreas, these are almost identical. Are they? I'm not sure if they 800 parts. Yes, that's not a bad shout actually. Moto. Let's have a look at the 800 parts, Andreas. Because like Motorloon says, they most likely share very common parts. Willow says, I love the sound of mine. Why I named it Snotbox. Yeah, absolutely. Motor user 82 says 400cc was only for Japan market, ? I don't know. I don't know if it was or not. But people import and export, so you know, you can get something that was made for one particular continent and makes its way onto the other side of the world. Franz W says stock jets, just adjusted the carbs. Right, okay, so yeah, if you've only got stock jets in, right, hang on. What was it? You said that you've put stock jets, you've got stock jets, you've raised the needle. Did you say you'd put pod filters on, or is it stock filters and it's still lean? If it's still lean and everything is stock, I would probably go as far as to say you might need to clean your carbs. Have you checked the float bowls recently? Have you seen if they're dry, green, mouldy looking things? Have they been cleaned? Let me know. Dave Webb says MSP is in the Netherlands. They are pricey but have OEM parts. Thank you, Dave. Yes, I knew they were on that side of the water somewhere. They're a brilliant website. Honestly, I use Wemoto.com here in the UK. If I can't get it on Wemoto, I will always check out Motorcycle Spare Parts. And if they don't have it in stock, they're the guys that have got the contacts to the manufacturers who can get it in stock. So sometimes there's a bit of a delay for bits they don't have on the shelf. But like I said, rest assured, MSP, if MSP can't get it, there's very few others out there that can get it, especially not brand new. Motorloon says, yeah, not identical to 1400, but I think the 400 is just a modified 800. Wouldn't surprise me. They've probably just adjusted the frame a little bit to take a slightly smaller engine, I imagine. But again, I've never seen a 400 in person. Andreas, I think from Bay 1 Bike for Parts. Not sure what you're trying to say there, my friend. Yes, Mrs. Hager, I would love another cup of tea. Getting parched a bit down here. I have got a little drop of Pepsi left from yesterday. That is incredibly flat. But guys, look. In fact, I think we'll wrap it up. How long have we been going for? Just over half an hour. Has anybody got any? Oh, thank you, Franz. This is K&M filter. Oh, the max. So no pots. Fresh, cleaned aftermarket exhaust. So you've effectively gone stage 2 without going stage 2, I believe. Motorloon, you might be able to correct me better there, but I'm pretty sure that stage 3, the only difference between a stage 3 and a stage 2 mainly is the types of filters that you're using. Individual pod filters, I think, is what stage 3 means. If you're using the max and you haven't upped your jet sizes, that is most likely why you are running very lean, because those mats will let in double, if not triple, the amount of air that a stock filter would. So, and especially if you've maxed out your air fuel mixture screws, you've raised your needles, I'd say that you need to go up a size in your jets. So your stock jets, I believe, would be a 145 in the front and a 135 in the front. Oh my word, I'd have to check the book. but you would need, I would say, to go up by at least, I'd say go to a 160 in the front and a 170 in the rear. Maybe, yeah, that's where I would start, because then at least if it's too rich with those jets in, you can really tighten down those air fuel mixture screws and try and level it out that way. People always seem to get this issue with these the mats that effectively replace the stock filters, the foam filters. A friend of mine had one of these bikes, these Intruder VS1400, and he put those K&N filters in, and then after that he could never get it to run right, and he couldn't figure it out. And it's because the bike was running incredibly lean. He hadn't put different jet sizes. So don't go mad. Don't go up through the roof. Don't put a 180 and a 190 in there. You don't need to. But find out what jet sizes you're currently running and go up a size, potentially 2 sizes. But I wouldn't go any bigger than a 160 in the front and a 170 in the rear. Also look at getting a slightly bigger pilot jet for the front carb. Okay. Trying to think the best way to approach this is if anyone else has got recommendations there for this particular issue, chuck it in the comment section. You probably already have, but let's have a look. Yeah, Motorloon, thank you. Yes, somewhere in between, somewhere like that. Yeah, so you definitely want to get bigger jets, main jets. 2.5 front, 130 rear. Okay, then the ones I had in my carbs originally were definitely not stock. I've got them here somewhere, but yeah, go up a size. Okay, so don't go nearly as big as what I said. If that is what you've got in your bike, if you've got a 112.5 in the front and a 130 in the rear, I would maybe go up to a 130 in the front and a 140 in the rear to compensate. But yeah, it's all a bit of fun and games trying to get bikes jetted correctly when you start messing with the air filters, etc. But yeah, best of luck with it, man. And Franz, let us know how you get on next week when we'll tune in, and hopefully you'll have some news for us getting it running. But yeah, right, guys, it's been nearly 40 minutes. I'm gonna clock off unless anyone's got some last minute questions for me. It's been great to talk to you guys. I hope you enjoyed the unboxing. I'm really looking forward to getting all this stuff done over the coming weeks. For the gentleman who asked earlier, the carb videos are on the way, I promise you. Like I said, the only reason that they haven't been done this week is because my bench has been preoccupied with my friend's bike. So it was just typical. He brought that down on the Saturday last week, and then on Monday we got locked down, so he couldn't come and get it. So we've had to work that out as well. But yeah, he's having a new rectifier, regulator, and a stator, oil change, new brake lines, new brake fluid, etc., new oil filter and all that. So that's done now, so we're just waiting for him to come and pick it up and put the casings back on tomorrow morning when the liquid gasket turns up. And then my bike can go back on and we can get cracking, hopefully. So yeah, okay guys, well take care of yourselves. And oh, hang on, Jamie says I need to get a new air filter, thinking K&N, but don't know what the setup is in the carbs. We need to do, I don't know what the setup is in the carbs. Will I need to do much else? If you need new filters and you're not looking at jetting your carbs, Jamie, or doing any modifications that you don't need to do, just replace what's there. If they've got the standard foam ones in there, get the standard foam ones again. Because honestly, putting in better filters but not doing anything else to the fuel system, fuel or air system, it will frustrate the hell out of you. Really it will, especially to go from a beautifully running bike to a bike that is now running really lean, really lumpy. Thank you, Mrs. Hagar. It will frustrate you, and that goes for all of you, unless you're all willing to put in the time, the effort, the patience to tune your carbs to a T without, you know, driving the bloody thing through a wall from frustration. Just replace what is already there. Wait for next winter, perhaps, because we're heading into spring now. I know it's only middle of January, but these weeks, they fly by, and it's going to be spring in a minute, and you want a bike that's running nicely. If you're ever going to do anything major like jetting or anything like that, don't do what I'm doing now. Start it sort of November, December time, if where you are you have bad weather from November, December. Gives you 3 months to get it sorted or taken to a garage. Willow says, have a great weekend, everyone. Stay healthy. And you, sir, take care. And we'll see you next weekend, hopefully. Motorloon. Oh, question, Hager. What wire size would you think would be enough for doing wiring work, extending some handlebar controls, wires and such, etc.? Okay. First and foremost, make sure that it's multi-core cable. Don't get the house. I don't know if it's the same way you are. In the UK, we have multi-core cable, which is thousands of little strands all wound together with inside the PVC tubing. And then you get ones which is literally just one solid piece of copper. Don't use that stuff. Gauge-wise, it's hard for me to say, but as long as it can take amperage, I believe the maximum amperage that the fuse box has is 25 amp fuse, potentially a 30 amp fuse. And I think that's for the charging system, the ignition system as well. I don't think you need a massive amperage of wire for your controls, especially if you're running LED lights, LED blinkers, side lights, etc. I would go with something that can handle up to 10 amp, ideally. But someone's probably going to bite my head off now in the comments for saying that. I've not personally done it, but I would be more than happy. Let me see if I've got a piece here. I did do some research about a year ago on it, and I was thinking of buying around 100 meters of this one particular cable. No, I haven't got any on my bench. It doesn't have to be silly over the top gauge, but what it does have to do is be able to take the amperage for the application that you are using it for. So maybe check the amperage of your fuses for the switches, etc. And as long as the amperage of the wire can meet that, you won't have an electrical fire. So just make sure the resistance within the wire is as good as the fuse in your fuse box. Because otherwise the wires will heat up, and that's how you get an electrical fire. I will be doing some work on my wiring loom, probably mid-summer, because I plan on either installing a. You guys have heard me talk about this before. It's gone. The Moto Blue Gadget wiring system, or there's another one that's definitely in Germany. Germany's come up a lot tonight. These guys love the VS1400. There's a new one. I say new, it's been on the market for a while. A less known brand. Excuse me, I think they're made by a gentleman called Axel. Moto Works, I believe it's called. And he does lots of similar things to Moto Gadget, but at a slightly cheaper price. He's a bit more independent, I believe, and he's not a massive corporation that's selling them all over the world. So I might reach out to him and ask him if it's possible to put his devices into this bike, because I want to put a lithium battery in the bike as well. But if I do that, then I have to start thinking about MOSFET rectifiers, and it's just a whole whirlwind. So I need his expertise. I need him to sort of instruct me what box I need, what battery I need, etc., etc. But once we get to that stage and I'm redoing the wiring, I will make sure that I have all of the information for you. I apologize, I couldn't be more specific at this stage. Marius, thanks, good luck. Thank you, and good luck. Axel, are you going to change the electrics? Yes, I am. Thank you, Andreas, and you. Jamie says, okay, thanks. Trying to avoid ripping it all apart. Yeah, don't rip anything apart if you don't need to, ladies and gents. Just because I know it's hard. I'm constantly looking at things to do on the bike. If you do not need to be messing with your bike, don't. You don't have to be like me. Because I just spend more time stood here looking at the bike than I do out there riding it. Let's see. Motorloon says, I was looking at 0.75mm square, but it seemed overkill. Wanted to go with 0.5 instead. You probably would be fine with 0.5. Just don't use it for the main power from the battery to the ignition. I think it's all relative. Like I say, as long as the amperage of the wire, the amperage of the component can be taken by the wire safely and not overheat, you will be fine. Mrs. Hagar says, 25 watching, hit the like button and use the super chat button below if you want to support the channel. If you don't know what the super chat is, guys, if you want to support the channel, you can click that dollar icon thing and donate $1, $2, whatever you want to the channel. YouTube takes 30%, so don't feel like you have to, but it's there if you did want to, if you wanted to support the channel in a monetary form. But no compulsory efforts are required here, ladies and gents. Boataloon says, rather not have a fire. No, I would rather not have a fire either. Though at this time of year, the heat would have been nice. Yeah. Dave Webb, most fuses are between 10 and 20 amps, so 0.5 millimeters should be enough, but there is nothing wrong with 0.75. No, I think the literal difference there in size of the cable is the only thing that would stop me going to the 0.75. I would love to, when we get the triple tree on the front here with the new handlebars, new controls, I want my wires to be as thin as possible so that I can hide them easily. But of course we have to find that balance between aesthetics and safety, and I really don't want anything going bang. One of the benefits of getting one of these Moto Gadgets or Motorworks units is they run off of a lot smaller wires than what the stock wiring system does anyway. So hopefully we'll see that might help things. Axel says, I changed the electric to a CBS box from Axel Juiced. That's the guy I'm talking about. Absolutely. Did you have to do anything in regards to MOSFETs or rectifiers or anything like that to use the CBS box, Axel? Oh, sorry guys, I'm parched as hell tonight. Dave Deb, only main fuses are 30 amps. Yes, that sounds about right. Motorloon says, wrenching is half the fun. It is half the fun, but you know, the amount of times that my guys turn up on their bikes, you know, 3-4 of them ride up here and they're like, you coming out? And I'm like, no. I'm working on something. You know, I think I need a second bike. Like I said, maybe not this year, but definitely I've got the XS500 there. I don't know if you can see it. That I'd love to get up and running. I'm not sure it would really suit me though. Anyway, I'm a bit too big for the XS500, but a beautiful little bike nonetheless, and can't wait to get it up and running. But yeah, Axel says yes. Also change the MOSFET. Yeah, I thought you might have to, but we'll see. We'll see what happens over the coming weeks, guys. I'm going to cut it off here because I'm losing my voice. I'm running out of things to say, and now I'm just blabbering on. But thank you all for being here. I think this has been our biggest live stream yet. I think we hit 26 people at one point, which is awesome considering that, you know, a month or two ago we were pulling in maybe 8 or 9 people. So it's really great that you guys are sort of sharing, and thank you for liking everything on Facebook, you know, supporting the channel the way that you do. We're heading now towards 2,500 subscribers, which is phenomenal. But yeah, guys, look, thank you very much. Take care of yourselves. Be safe, be kind to people, and we will catch up again next week. More videos on the way. I'll see you soon.